Today's a pretty big day. I'm excited because we're actually starting the Battlestar Galactica series. Here's the things that I've been thinking about since last week that I'm hoping we'll get to see more of this week. Maybe I don't know that I want all the answers this week, but someone left Commander Adama a note about the 12 Cylon models. Who knows that information? Who is leaving him that note? Dr. Gaius is the obvious choice, but perhaps there's more going on there. Maybe there's someone else on the ship who knows more than we know they know, if that makes sense. Did and will Colonel Ty stay sober? Last time I noticed he threw out the bottle. I actually didn't notice later on, a few shots later, that the bottle was sitting on his desk and he was staring at it. It didn't register in my mind. So did he drink it? Did he stay sober? Did he immediately say, I'm not doing that? I'm confident that'll be an ongoing struggle for him throughout this series. It'll be interesting to watch at the very least, and I'm rooting for him. Hopefully that works out. And of course, the biggest question, well, of course there's number 6 with Gaius. But the biggest question on my mind is Boomer. I believe Boomer is a sleeper agent who is a Cylon but doesn't know she's a Cylon, which brings up all the questions. The Boomer that we know, that the crew of the Galactica knows, by all accounts, she's a real person, right? If she doesn't know she's a Cylon, that makes me interesting. It makes me kind of want to root for the Boomer we know, but also terrified of what she could do. I don't know. I think it's going to be an intriguing element. There's a lot of intrigue, a lot of layers to the show, and I look forward to continuing to explore them with you now. Okay, I've talked long enough. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Sleeper agents programmed to perfectly impersonate human beings until activation.
Okay, so it's not even like a well-constructed theory that she's a sleeper agent. They're basically telling us. I do love the percussive nature. It really just makes it feel more like the war drums, you know? Everyone seems kind of tired. Dr. Gaius is so tired, he's dreaming of his home.
God has a plan for you guys. He has a plan for everything.
What a great opening line.
Gaius, are you even listening to me?
He's like trying to ignore her. Don't listen to the lady in red. I'm so glad to see they're not giving up atmosphere in favor of a quick-moving plot because of the time restraints.
Why do the Cylons come every 33 minutes? Why isn't it 34, 35?
Callie.
What?
Shut up.
Like annoying clockwork.
Straightest contact.
They couldn't even be fashionably late.
Our FTL drive is now working and we will jump momentarily.
Wow.
5 days now.
I'm glad you can hold her imaginary hand. 5 days of every 33 minutes?
Base stars launching raiders.
Colonial 1 is ready to jump.
Was that number 50,298? Is that all the people alive? Yeah. They're probably getting used to these combat landings by now.
Execute jump.
Shoot, man. I'm with Callie. Why do they come every 33 minutes? Oh, do we get a theme song? Oh, hang on, wait. We're just getting like a bunch of flashes. Was number 6 kissing Hilo? Was that a thing? What is going on?
I want to try something new this time. The 4th jump, we rendezvous at a common set of coordinates.
Combat landings expected again to be the order of the day. So, look, you've all done this 237 times.
Yep. I feel terrible for them.
A Marine told one of the pilots that we marooned some guy back on Ragnar because the Exo thought that he was a Cylon.
You know what? I don't give a frack.
She is focused on her job, and she's a Cylon, but she doesn't know she's a Cylon.
A little rough on the new ECO, do you think?
It's not my ECO.
Hilo's gone, Sharon.
I didn't ask you that either.
I would love it if everyone's families were fine and everyone His families were alive, but they're probably mostly dead. With no time to actually pause and mourn. Because every 33 minutes they have to do the impossible.
How did we lose 300?
No.
There were some overcounts, a few deaths from wounds.
He looks more exhausted than all of the others.
It's Dr. Amarak.
What was that?
Requested to speak with the president. Dr. Amarak, I see.
You know him?
I used to work with him at the Ministry of Defense.
I was always a little worried he was on to us.
Were you? Should speak to him if you're busy. Actually, I think he wanted to speak directly with the president.
There's not enough time before we jump. I want him on board first thing during the next cycle. I'd say you have a serious problem.
Carl C. Agathon, call sign Hilo. It's just good to see him. I'm excited about it. I love their shape-shifting arms. Woo! The rain makes us it makes it feel different than what we've seen already. Certainly a stark contrast from the space battles.
Is this my 10 minutes or is this yours?
Yours. I took 10 last time.
I believe it was your 10 minutes.
The old man's so tired he can't remember that it's his turn.
Aw. Thank you, Ty, for sacrificing your 10 minutes. Also, you only get 10 minutes every 66 minutes? That's terrible.
I don't fly with stims. They blunt your reflexes, your reaction time.
Come on, Kara, give me a break. Just
Why are we arguing about this? You're the CAG. Act like one. One of your idiot pilots is acting like a child and refusing to take her pills. You smack her in the mouth and you make her take those pills.
She's like, if you're in charge, be in charge. Then he's not seeing things. She's actually there, right? Oh no. I guess he's gonna surrender. Oh, wow.
jump 238 complete.
All civilian ships present and one civilian ship missing and unaccounted for, sir.
No.
The Olympic carrier.
How many people aboard ship?
1,345 souls, sir.
The Cylons keep coming after us, and yes, we are still expected to do our jobs.
He's right, but I would not enjoy working for him.
We make mistakes, people die.
Okay. Next crisis.
She's like so just resigned to the let's keep moving, even though she's so full of grief.
Dr. Amarak.
He was on the Olympic carrier.
Suspicious or convenient?
God is watching out for you guys.
Let's go with convenient or supernatural intervention, but I doubt it.
There is no God.
Be careful. That which God gives, he can also take away.
Oh, looks like it's time for the next jump.
Traitors.
No enemy contacts.
Keep the clock running.
I don't know. Unpredictability is almost scarier.
Get me the president.
Honestly, I almost feel like jump again anyway, because you've got it dialed in.
The Olympic carrier, did that have something to do with it?
Maybe.
We have to take advantage of this time. Better people get some rest.
All right. Let your men and women know how grateful I am.
Oh man, all the
Thank you, Madam
tears all around her eyes.
Thank you.
Impressive. She carries it all so well, I think.
Set up a combat patrol around the fleet.
Boomer, Starbuck, warm up with me. We'll fly the first cab.
Because I'm on drugs.
Hey, how about you, Boomer? Doc tells me you're holding up better than anybody in the squadron.
I'm tired like everybody else.
You never seen it.
Interesting. Starbucks joke. I wonder if Starbuck will remember that joke later.
All this has me feeling, well, more alive than I have in years.
But I know there's a whole lot of people aboard this ship that wish you weren't feeling as good as you are.
If the crew doesn't make the XO, then he's not doing his job.
It's one thing to push the crew, it's another thing to break them.
Straightest contact. Bearing.
No.
It's the Olympic carrier, sir.
What? How?
Action stations.
Yeah. And set the timer for 33 minutes?
I hope you're wrong.
So do I.
Would that mean that something on the Olympic carrier is causing them to be able to track them? Is there a tracker on that ship? Is it that doctor they were talking about?
It's God's punishment for your lack of faith.
Of course, she's got an answer.
A more logical and useful explanation, please.
They've been tracking the ship all along.
That's a great theory. It's mine. Yeah, it's the obvious one.
In order for you to survive, the Olympic carrier should be destroyed.
Will anyone else come to that conclusion?
Thank the Lords of Koval, you don't know how relieved we are to see you. I've got a Dr. Amarak on board. Says he knows something about a traitor in our midst.
I strongly recommend that we cut off all wireless communication with that ship right away. The only reason the Olympic carrier is still flying is because the Cylons let them survive. They've been tracking that ship all along.
Okay, but you were talking about 1,000 people, Gaius.
I'm inclined to agree with Dr. Baltar.
It's a sound military decision.
So do I.
I'm not on board.
Your orders are to jam all transmissions from the Olympic carrier. No further voice contact is authorized.
I'm getting a bad feeling about where this is headed.
So am I.
Same.
If the ship poses a threat to us, we have to eliminate that threat.
You're right, but like, what about all the people?
You are ordered to stop your engines immediately. Acknowledge. Suddenly nobody's home.
This is so engaging. What the heck?
The Olympic carrier is heading directly for us, sir. They're refusing all orders to stop.
Based on their weird behavior, maybe you do blow it out of the space. I don't know how to say that. The sky doesn't work.
Multiple greatest contacts.
Cylons on intercept course.
Radiological alarm.
From where?
The Olympic carrier.
What?
We have to eliminate the Olympic carrier.
There are 1,300 people on that ship.
We don't know that.
He wants you to repent.
Look, at this point, there's no choice.
Interesting that her words are affecting him that much.
I repent.
Do it.
It's a civilian ship.
Yeah, can you see any people on the ship? They have windows.
I don't see anybody in there. Do you?
Okay, fire on my mark.
No frackin' way, Lee. Lee!
Mark.
Are you alive?
Oh, she's asking him the same question she asked the guy at the beginning of the miniseries.
It's all right. I'm fine.
Okay, we know what happened to the last guy she kissed randomly. Whoa. Who shot her? It's Boomer. It's not Boomer, though. From a Cylon point of view, this is, I think, a really brilliant plan. He was rescued. I don't know what the goal of this plan is, but it's really interesting.
I gave the order. It was my responsibility.
Correct.
I pulled the trigger.
Both heavy burdens, to be sure.
24 hours, no Cylons. At least you know it was the right choice.
The right choice.
Yeah,
Update on the head count.
Subtract how many?
Actually, you can add one. A baby was born this morning on the Rising Star.
I mean, come on. I love that it was on the Rising Star too. It's just a nice name for the Oh, she's reacting like that's how I feel. Wow, that was a good episode. Wow. That was a great episode. Good wasn't a strong enough adjective. I had to add another one. Oh, wow. I'm trying to process this episode compared to the miniseries. It felt just as significant, just as heavy, the same atmosphere. It did feel a little bit smaller in scope in a sense, but it also felt more focused.
Blah, 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 etc. and so on. Blah, 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 blah.
What? Blah, 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 etc. It's so, what? What was that? I mean, that's how you take a show from miniseries to series. Honestly, that was phenomenal. Just a round of applause for everyone involved. Let's start right there at the end with yet another hard decision. We know it was the right decision because the Cylon has been 24 hours. People can finally get some sleep. Wow. Oh. As I've had a few minutes to think about it and process, I think in all likelihood, the 1,300 that were on board the Olympic carrier are probably already dead. the Cylons took them out and then sent the ship ahead of them as a ploy and a plan to, I don't know exactly, to get them destroyed. I don't know how they were tracking them before. Maybe they were tracking the Olympic carrier. Maybe they weren't. I just, like, I feel like you almost have to believe that the Cylons destroyed the 1,300 people prior to that. I think, how else do you sleep at night after making that kind of decision? I don't know. What do you think? Did they kill the 1,300 just then? Or were they already dead? Do you think they had any other alternatives? Especially once the ship that was clearly had nukes on board was about to probably blow up the Galactica and Capital One and everybody. So, like, you have to destroy it. Once they stopped responding and communicating and just were barreling towards you, I don't think you had another option. I don't think you had another choice. But it stinks that to, like, even think you may have just killed 1,300 people. And you can see the weight of responsibility that Madam President has, Laura. You can see she's carrying it. It was really fascinating just seeing the exhaustion on everyone's faces throughout this episode. And nobody was functioning at 100% capacity. Nobody would. 33 minutes is absurd. And I still, the question Callie asked at the beginning, why every 33 minutes? Will we ever have an answer? I don't know. It's really, really interesting to be the precision. And of course, that is computer precision, right? It's super interesting to me. I was very moved by the +1 at the end from Rising Star. It is a very nice touch to end this episode on a little bit of hope, a little bit of optimism in the midst of really, really bleak circumstances. The storyline with Hilo is very interesting. The Cylons captured him, and then they let Boomer rescue them. So where's Boomer going to take Hilo? Because this Boomer can't take him to the Galactica, right? I loved when Starbuck called her a Cylon because she didn't seem to be as tired and exhausted as everyone else, and maybe she wouldn't be. Who's to say, really? Do Cylons get tired? I mean, they're very human in their biology, if I remember correctly from the miniseries. So how exactly do they function in these types of extreme situations and circumstances? Of course, watching number 6 and Gaius throughout this episode is as completely captivating as always. Him not wanting to let this other, was it a doctor? This other guy who had information about a potential traitor on board. And number 6's religiosity here. You know, God has a plan for you, Gaius, being the opening line of the episode. I think it was the first line. Absolutely fascinating. And then throughout the episode, well, the ship showed up because God is punishing you for your lack of faith and you have to repent. And then he said, I repent. And then she gave the order to destroy the Olympic carrier. So interesting. Honestly, it's a unique dynamic to throw in this kind of, I enjoyed their kind of science versus faith discussion. And then he seems to be coming more and more around to her way of thinking through this episode. It's like he had a spiritual conversion, a spiritual experience. But was it a genuine spiritual experience? Wasn't it just to save his own neck? Wasn't it, again, selfishly motivated to keep this doctor from potentially disclosing his secret, if he even knew his secret? Maybe he had genuine information about who was on board the Olympic carrier. That's probably what happened. He had real information that he needed to get to Madam President to stop the Cylons from following them. And there probably was someone on board the Olympic carrier that was feeding Cylons information, and we just didn't get to see that part of the story. We don't know exactly what transpired. That is just my theory, I guess. I do want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I literally just finished editing episode 1 of Battlestar Galactica, and oh my gosh, it really is that good. It is so good, and we're a little bit farther along on Patreon, and the series is continuing to be amazing, and I'm just so excited to be able to start this journey. And if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button, subscribe to continue watching more Battlestar Galactica with me, and of course, you can watch the full episodes on Patreon. Just click the link in the description, and we have a pretty fun community over there where we're talking about the episode each week, and I'd love to have you be a part of that as well. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. Here's another video you might enjoy, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.